Julian Assange. Julian Assange. You know, I've covered his hearing extensively, his persecution by the US. We need him to be pardoned. I think today is the last day that Trump can pardon him and pardon Snowden. Again, I don't like the term pardon in regards to Assange because he's not American. He didn't break any laws. So, well, you know, he's not done anything in America. Doesn't owe in America anything. Nonetheless, you understand the sentiment here. It's that he should drop all charges and he should be allowed out of Belmarsh and able to go home. And so you've had several people, of course, making the case for him. Just recently, you had Jimmy Dore go on Tucker Carlson's show and make that case. I'll just play you this clip over here. And I want you to pay attention. Again, it's just the ending of Jimmy's appearance, but I want you to pay attention to Tucker's reaction. Okay? So let me just... There we go.
No, the first person to be deplatformed was WikiLeaks and Julian Assange, and this would be a great way for Donald Trump to stick the thumb back in the eye of these people, is to pardon Julian Assange. If he knows what's good for freedom of speech and freedom of the press, he should take this moment and pardon Julian Assange.
I didn't used to think that, and I totally agree with it, partly because you convinced me through the force of your argument. I think that's absolutely right.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that from Tucker Carlson. Remember, Tucker Carlson is not exactly the brightest bulb or the sharpest tool in the shed, right? He thought that the metric system is some kind of conspiracy against America, and he called kilograms kilograms. He also supported the Iraq War. So, among other affronts. So yeah, to hear that, okay. Now, was he really convinced, like genuinely? I don't know. But one thing is for sure, Donald Trump watches his show. A lot of people watch Tucker Carlson's show. As a matter of fact, Fox News is the largest network in the US. Huge audience, right? More than any other network. And I mean, Jimmy Dore, of course, he's 100% correct what he's saying. What's interesting here, and again, Glenn Greenwald, when he went on Tucker Carlson, a few months back, I think it's also in August, right? He made the same case. And it's interesting because they're trying to play on Trump's ego, right? Like, look, man, they screwed you. Look at the deep state, the national security blob. Big tech just deplatformed you. Come on, man. You want to stick it to them? Just pardon Assange because they hate Assange. You'll get back at all of them. It's true in a way. And it's just one argument among a lot of arguments why why Snowden should be pardoned, right? Perhaps not the most convincing, but maybe to Trump, yeah. It's worth a shot, right? I mean, if you have 0.001% chance of it working, better than not trying, better than 0%, right? And so people are mad. People are mad. They're furious that Jimmy Dore went on Fox News and went on Tucker Carlson's show. Amazing. Particularly this, for example, look at this. This is from Emma Vigeland. It says, Tucker isn't a dummy. He knows that investing in a leftist who is driving a wedge in the left is good for his far-right agenda. It also helps when all that leftist does is attack Democrats and ignore fascism. Perfect guest for his ends. Bit of a stretch. I mean, it's not just a bit of a stretch. You're full of shit. Fuck is this? The guy just went on the most popular network. He went on a show which Trump watches. Yes, Trump has the power of pardoning. And made the case for press freedoms. Again, it's not about Julian Assange, the person. Yes, he is a human being and he's suffering, and we should take that into account. Of course, obviously. But there's the issue of press freedoms at stake. Yes? Do you comprehend that? Do you understand this? Big issue, especially if you're a journalist. Especially if you're a leftist, like you say, if you're so concerned. Why the fuck would you care where he went and where he made the case? He made the case. And if anything, you should care it was on the largest network. If you can convince one person, and hopefully that's Trump, but if you can educate at least one person, that's a win. Because all we've heard for the last couple of years, all the mainstream media has reported for the last couple of years and said are smears about Julian Assange. Everything from, oh, he's a Russian spy to, you know, he's a traitor, even though he's not even American. So I don't know what he owes you to even be a traitor. He doesn't owe you shit. You know, everything. So that's an objectively good thing. And speaking of smearing Assange, Emma is not lacking in that department. She says, WikiLeaks may do some good work, but holy Lord, Assange is a creep. All right. Be quiet. Shh. Shh. Okay. WikiLeaks doesn't just do good work. They do excellent work. Everything they publish is true, is accurate. They have 100% accuracy, authenticity in their publications. So that, if anything, that's excellent, pristine work, not good work. And this line about, oh, okay, maybe WikiLeaks is okay, but Assange is a creep. That again, this is a smear. This is a line of attack that we've heard from many people. Actually, it's one we've heard from the Ecuadorian government, not the old one, which did good on Assange, right? They sheltered him, but the new one, which withdrew his asylum request and, well, not request, they just withdrew his asylum, it was already granted, and the U.S. government. So that's driving a wedge in the left, if you ask me. And, you know, going over here, the next thing that we saw, she's going on the attack now against Brianna. Then what did Bernie do with his platform on Fox? Advocated for Medicare for all. What did Jimmy do with his platform on Tucker tonight? Not one word about Medicare for all. From what I saw, instead, he aided Tucker's narratives. So what they're saying here, these people that are attacking Jimmy, is that, yes, Bernie Sanders did a town hall on Fox News. I covered it, right? Did several videos on it. But he was trying to help us. And he was talking about Medicare for all. Jimmy didn't do anything. Jimmy's just like, you know, trying to divide the left. What the fuck are you talking about, man? What are you on about? Look, man, if the subject is Julian Assange, right? Why would you talk about healthcare all of a sudden? Medicare for all. That's weird and irrelevant. And as a matter of fact, I can prove you're lying, because here's Jimmy Dore just a few weeks back advocating for Medicare for all on Tucker's show.
That money back home. Well, right now, President Trump, there are millions and millions of Americans who don't follow you on Twitter, who are hurting, who needs a check right now. And take those troops home, give that money to the people. If Nancy Pelosi offers $1,200, you double it. Put your name on that check. People need help right now. Do you know how weak it looks that you're trying to position yourself as a victim to Nancy Pelosi? And take those troops home, take that money, get it in a stimulus check, give it to the people right now. The time is ticking. Now is, you know, if he would have given us health care, he missed his moment. They're going to, whoever gives the American people health care they're going to put on Mount Rushmore. He missed that. Now it's time to take these troops home and invest that money back here. Now, people are hurting. You tell the Senate, the GOP in the Senate, and Mitch McConnell to do their job and get a stimulus to the people, and he'll put his name on it. Whatever Nancy Pelosi offers, double it. That's what Trump would have done in 2016. He needs to do that now.
I just find it so hilarious. You're a lefty who I'm sure is not voting Trump, who's giving him better advice than almost any Senate Republican, any congressional Republican, any Republican in Washington. I think you're absolutely right. Jimmy Dore, thank you for that.
My pleasure. Anytime.
So that's why I go.
Isn't that astonishing? Isn't that astonishing? He's able to spit facts, talk truth, and then get the host of the show, Tucker Carlson, to agree with him on what? Bringing home the troops, anti-war message, getting people health care, Medicare for all, giving people stimulus check, Julian Assange. What the fuck are you complaining about? What are you complaining about? How is this dividing the left and driving a wedge in the left? God, they're so nefarious and foul in their attacks. They're just horrible. It's pathetic. It really is. And look at this man. Who's this? All of a sudden, I think I recognize his face. Oh, is that your friend? What's she doing? What's she doing on Tucker Carlson? Uh-oh. Is she also trying to divide the left? She's trying to drive a wedge in the left? I didn't hear you say anything about her. That's weird. That's odd. Oh, look, here's this again. We got Cenk Uygur defending Tucker Carlson. And Emma herself, she says, I don't understand the overfocus from the left on Carlson. Hannity and Laura Ingraham are way worse. Carlson actually has principled views on a few topics, a rarity for Fox. Yes. Okay. Now, look, to be fair, she said that in 2019, people changed their views, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, whatever. But, you know, to lie about Jimmy and to make an issue out of this and be disingenuous about it. No, this is not okay. This is nonsense. What a waste of time. I mean, I was almost like, I don't want to talk about this. It's just so pathetic. But I think it's important to underline how, you know, the boutique left, they're all talk. When you actually do something of substance, you manage to, on the air, appear at least to convince a right-wing host and hopefully therefore his audience who look up to him of why Julian Assange should be pardoned, why you should not have troops occupying other people's land, why you should have health care. This is a win. I mean, how can you possibly take that and skew it into something negative? Just absurd. Absurd. Truly. Not to mention that, of course, these people, they did no coverage on Assange. They don't give a shit. They don't give a crap, man. And this tweet by Nico is quite funny, man. Said, you're the embodiment of pompous caucasity. That's a good one, bro. That really is. It's quite accurate. It's quite accurate. Here's Glenn Greenwald on Fox. Also, I think, yesterday, also making the case for Julian, by the way. And Snowden.
Glenn, all anybody wants is truth. The president now is looking for further pardons. Do you think he should pardon Julian Assange, for example?
I think two people who have done more to expose the truth of the very agencies that Donald Trump says he has been victimized by and was victimized by, Edward Snowden and Julian Assange, are being persecuted by what he calls the deep state, the security state, and absolutely deserve a pardon. They've been punished and they've suffered for years now, and it's time for them to come home.
What do you think about this cancel culture, Glenn, real quick? You too. You think so too,
I think
Al?
that the way that you find I think the way that you find truth is by coming on and debating people with whom you have great disagreements, like I have with Alan Dershowitz.
Yeah.
And that way the public can decide after hearing
we
all
would
views
all
what is
agree with
correct
that.
and what isn't.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, man, this is, you know, this is so stupid to see people get their panties in a twist because, you know, Jimmy or Glenn go on Fox. Shut the fuck up, man. Let them make the case. They're speaking the truth, right? They're defending Assange. They're defending press freedoms. They're advocating for healthcare. What is wrong with you? How could you turn that into something negative? Just enough. It's like, you know, it's like a bunch of children, man, that are making these attacks. Really. And I think if I'm not mistaken, their issue with Jimmy going on Tucker's show was that before he got to Assange, he said something about Bernie Sanders plugging or Russiagate, and then he got Russiagated. It's true. That's true. Don't you remember how many people were saying, oh, look, Bernie Sanders, he's got like a troll army. The Bernie bros are so vicious. And, you know, he's a socialist and he's being supported by the Kremlin. You don't remember that? How they tried to smear him? Also, let me ask you one last thing, man. If you're not invited, if no one is invited on MSNBC, on CNN, on any of your so-called lefty shows to talk about Julian Assange, where the fuck else are they supposed to go? I mean, yes, thank God we got our own platforms and stuff, each one of us. But in terms of television networks, where are they supposed to go? This, if anything, this is an indictment on those networks that will not have anyone to talk about Assange and explain the gravity of the situation and why he should be pardoned and why Edward Snowden should be pardoned. It's an indictment on the other networks. Yes? If anything. Christ. Can't believe I have to explain this a million times. I mean, this is really absurd. And they're just grasping at straws to do bad faith attacks and go after people's character. Just shut the fuck up, man. We got bigger issues. We got bigger fish to fry, motherfucker. Stick to the script, man. You got Donald Trump pardoning Lil Wayne, by the way. That's not a joke. So he's going to issue about 100 pardons, something like that. He's got a huge list today. God willing, Assange and Snowden are on that list. But we know that Lil Wayne will be, because probably because he endorsed Trump, right? That's probably connected. Maybe it was a quid pro quo, as they like to say. But this is absurd. I mean, you're going to pardon Lil Wayne, but you ain't going to pardon Assange or Snowden. I hope he is. And it's like Jimmy said, honestly, it really is. Like, if he wants to stick it to the establishment, the political establishment in this sense, and the deep state, he has to. Trump has to. We'll see. We'll see.